Good morning. You are watching QTV This Morning. I am Ibrahim Abalde. We are back on another edition of This Morning. It's Wednesday. Of course, we are saying bye-bye to the month of May. You know,
we are indeed.
We are already in the rainy season because normally early June. Normally in the Gambia it rains by early June. Sometimes end of May. Probably today, before end of day or in the night, we will, receive our first rain.
At least they predicted that this time around we are expecting an early rain.
I think they said the 8th, around the 8th of June, something like that.
So it's going to be early rain.
So, and we're all dreading it because when it rains, it's horrendous getting to work. I mean, roads get flooded.
Yeah.
It's terrible. I mean, infrastructure is very poor.
Yeah. We call it early rain, June. But there was a time, like 20 years ago, I can remember, it was like it rains in May.
Oh.
20 years ago?
Yes, before end of May, we receive our first to second rain. In the Gambia.
He has a good memory.
I can remember that. When it is May, that's why still,
maybe it's
when it is May,
climate change.
yes, when it is May still, I
start
expecting rains. But it's been giving us signs.
Yeah.
The heat, the temperature these days, it's telling you the rain is coming. So farmers should clean their lands and get ready.
I'm going to move to Matam in Senegal, which they said is the hottest place on earth right now.
Really?
Yes.
No, I'm going to Cape Verde.
Julde, how are you? How have you been?
I'm okay, Balde. Alhamdulillah. How are you as well?
Alhamdulillah.
Good morning to you and good morning to Mr. Ade. And good morning to our viewers from wherever you're watching us from. It's always good to be back.
And it's good to greet them, and we apologize for starting slightly late this morning.
Yes, that's.
He's a diplomat.
Yeah.
Mr. Ade. Oh my God, Mr. Ade is such a diplomat. For us, we don't even mind.
No, we don't. We don't mind. We just move.
Maybe that's the norm.
We just move and kill the topic. In fact, kill the time we started, so that people who know we started late. Yeah. So I will be. We will be doing a lot of things on the program today. As you know, we've changed the timing of the program due to the Council Enquiry Commission. And now we will take we will acknowledge our, we should delve in with the African proverb first. Julda, what does it read? Can you take us through?
Our African proverb this morning is better an honest failure than a fake success. Better an honest failure than a fake success. Study. He's smiling.
I'm smiling because even if you take it literally, it rings true in the sense that if you are somebody who has a conscience, you do something and you succeed, and people are patting you on the back, and you achieved that wonderful success by accident, not by design. You feel a fake. You feel that I don't deserve this because I didn't plan for it. It just happened, and for me, that's not as satisfying as you doing something and you give it everything you've got. You do your best, but you just come up short. But in your heart, in your conscience, you know that I did everything I could to try and make this the outcome that I wanted. It didn't happen, but I gave it a best shot, and you can have peace of mind. Before we came on air, I was telling my colleague Balde that I had a couple of projects I needed to finish, and he said, the shirt is, I said, yes, this shirt is a kind of peace of mind shirt, because I felt relief, relaxed.
It's too comfortable.
That I'd finished everything, and so yes, I think if you give it your best, it's all you can ask.
Absolutely.
Obviously. And you will feel content, even if you don't quite get what you want.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm taking that in the literal sense, so I'm not sure what you make of it.
Sure, I'll totally agree with you. I will always agree with you, Daddy. Better an honest failure than a fake success.
Give it some thought.
Yeah. I think it's self-explanatory. Better you have a success that you know that you worked hard for it, you deserved it, and you earned it. And I think, like you said, conscience is very important. Everybody might be praising you, but you yourself, you realize that, oh my God, this is not deserving of it. Even not for success, you get to a certain position or you get certain positions and you realize that, no, I don't deserve it. Perhaps it's by miracle or by you know, faking it that I got to have this position or got to have this money. But you know that you, within yourself, your inner self will telling you that you don't deserve that. Sometimes I was like chatting with my friend the other, and I was like, most of you are driving your cars and I'm still here. What's wrong? Are you more hardworking than me? Or what is wrong? Like, oh, are you more lucky than me? Like, she'll be like, don't worry, your time will come. I said, it should come by now. I mean, I've been working all my, like, for 6 years now, and I haven't gotten myself one car, and all of you are riding your cars, and I wonder, like, what have you got that I did not? But I realized that, okay, with time it will come. Yeah, it will come. And I believe that, you know, when it's mine, it's definitely going to be mine. Yeah, what is yours will be yours. But we should always endeavor to work so hard for the things that we have, rather than just using the back way or faking things or getting it in a way that is not, you know, a moral way. That, you know, when you lie down at night, everybody will be admiring you, and then when you lie down, you can't sleep. So I think that is very important.
Yeah, that comes with people with conscience.
Mr. Balde, what's your take on it?
Well, I mean, I will just connect it to
Balde. You are now Balde.
Balde. I will just connect it to the alleged UTG sex for grades. I mean, you know,
right?
Yes.
No, I mean, that's a good. That's
that's so most of the time, you know, look at it now. I mean, if at all it's true, names, you know, are mentioned, and you know, some of those people. Actually, they won't feel comfortable anymore. They won't feel, I mean, at ease anymore, because they will realize people knew exactly know what they were doing. I mean, to get these grades. So it's better for you to go. Maybe you did not get it all, but at least you've given it a shot, at least to be able to achieve what you sweat for. I think that's
I think that's a brilliant example, and I'm glad you mentioned it. And I'll quickly, I know we have to move on to other matters, but when I was at school, and I've mentioned this before on other programs, there was a young guy who was in my class, and once he was sent to the teacher's common room as punishment to clean it. And whilst he was cleaning, he came upon the exam papers, and he stole them, went to town, and in those days we didn't have photocopiers, you had Xerox machines, and he Xeroxed all the papers and then brought them back. And he went around sharing them in the school. And I can tell you this, Christ the King College in Bo, nobody took the papers from him. People said, we would rather fail than cheat to pass an exam. He was my classmate. And nobody spoke to him for the rest of the year.
And that's good.
I was the only one who would speak to him. The rest of the class shunned him. And people thought, you know, it's better to sweat, and we might fail, but we will not cheat to pass the exam, because that would be dishonest. And the school had had a reputation for 5 years. They had the best exam results in the country. So people didn't want to spoil that by cheating. Nobody took those papers. And some people, when the results came, some people failed. But at least they knew that they didn't cheat to pass, because they would not have been able to sleep with themselves. So I think the example you gave is
but that was then, not now. I mean, that was your time.
In fact, I don't think that would happen in Sierra Leone now. You're right. I mean, and in most schools, people will say, yeah, bring it on. You know, let me have those papers. But believe me,
but that is why it's reflecting on our institutions. Like sometimes you hear people positions, like they have certain positions, and when they talk, you wonder. I mean, that is even evident with this current commission of inquiry into local government, you know, local councils. Like, sometimes you have people who are in certain positions and they can't even understand, like they don't even know their job description.
What about the guy who appeared at the TRRC, who was grade 9 and he was head of prisons? Like, how the hell did that happen? That's a joke.
We call that relation appointment. And you appoint people to the relation that you have.
Nepotism.
You know, I look at my boys and tell them, look, in fact, for me, I've given all ministerial posts to my friends, my family members. I mean, I'll tell them, if I'm president, you are Minister of Works. If I am president, you are Minister of Information.
We don't want you to be our president.
If I am president,
he's just disqualified himself.
I will take you, you will be the ambassador to this
You have just disqualified yourself.
And I had that happen even this past mayoral elections. They were sharing positions amongst themselves.
Yes.
It's like, oh my God. Really?
So these are things that, I mean,
no, people should be, we want a meritocracy.
Honesty is the best.
And this is what this is about.
I can remember there was a scenario when I was like 10. There was a time I think something happened and my dad threatened to beat me. You know, he was with a belt.
I'm sure you deserved it.
You know, yeah, I deserved it. So the thing is, when he came in there, I said, why did you do this? And I was like, very honest to him. I said, that was the only thing that can save me. If I try to beat about the bush, I'm dead.
Yeah.
But I said it directly as it was.
Yes.
Then I saw my dad threw away the belt. You know, after a few days, I said, Dad, you didn't beat me because you were very honest.
Yes, it's good. And the reason I like this is because that was what our parents, my parents, tried to instill in us. They said always, in the same scenario, if you did something wrong, they would call you and say, did you do it? And once ended up arguing with my principal, my school principal. My father told him plainly, he said, my son would not lie to me. And he was like, oh. and I hadn't lied to him, you know? Yeah.
All right, so we will acknowledge our sponsors, Opticalia. You know, we would be coming back after the break and discuss other issues. We'll be back.
The high-quality clinic from Europe, which is now in the Gambia. Do you have an eye problem? Do you feel a hearing difficulty? Medicalia is here to ease the pain for you. The first and only hearing aid dispensing facility nationwide, where patients can be tested and treated to recover from their hearing loss. Fitted with latest generation equipment, our doctors can provide healthcare assistance for eyes, ears, nose, and throat. Common diseases like glaucoma or diabetic retinopathy can be diagnosed and followed up for fast and correct treatment. Make your appointment with the eye or ear, nose, and throat ENT specialist today to relieve any pain you might be feeling, as consultants are available daily. Contact us for more information. Visit us at Tropic Shopping Center near Senegambia from 9 a.m. to 11 p.m. every day of the week, or call us on 503-4411 or 7767-123. Medicalia, premium care, personal touch.
Step into the Espas Motors showroom for your luxurious name brand vehicle. Located along the Bertil Harding Highway, Espas Motors is the Gambia's authorized dealer for Chery, Kia, Ford, and now we bring you the new Peugeot Model 3008 SUV. 18-inch alloy wheels, 216 inches high ground clearance, keyless entry system, start and stop button, rear parking assistance system with reverse camera, adaptive cruise control with speed limit, LED daytime running lights, front and side airbags, 8-inch HD touchscreen. Not to forget our exquisite Peugeot Landtrek double cabin pickup with 2.1-liter diesel engine, 6-speed manual transmission 4x4, hill descent control, LED daytime running lights. Espas Motors, the authorized dealer for Peugeot. Visit us today or call us on 35-2222 or 353-4444.
We are back, and this is QTV This Morning. Instead, you're just tuning in. I mean, we've already dealt with the African proverb, and you know the proverb. It's about honesty. You have to be honest. Yeah. I mean, you have to be honest to earn your living. You have to be honest to, you know, between you and people. You have to be honest in your dealings. You have to be honest in whatever you do. But it's difficult to be honest.
It's not. I think people should fight the temptation to be dishonest. And dishonesty takes many forms. The person who turns up late for work every day and then lies and says, no, I was in at 8 o'clock when they weren't. That's dishonesty. But sometimes it's in such a casual way that people don't even think of it as dishonesty. The person who drives through a red traffic light when it's red and it means stop, that's another form of dishonesty, and yet people don't. The person who bribes to jump a queue, you know, they tell you, come back in 2 days for this paper because that's what it says. And you said, oh, if I give you $500, can I get it in 15 minutes? That's another, you're dishonest. The person accepting the money is dishonest. But we do it in such a casual way that we don't even think of it as
now
dishonesty.
So now I'm trying to adjust myself in one of your. So now, Mr. Ade, I mean, maybe you went to get a paper somewhere, and someone sees you and say, "Oh wow, this is Ade. Wow, Ade. Oh, come over. Let me help you."
It has happened.
Is that dishonesty,
Yes.
or is that I mean a respect that is given to you due to your contribution to nation development?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, when I went to get my, I was going to say citizenship card, but not my residence card, you know, sort of non-Gambian residence card. The guy saw me in the queue and he said, Mr. Ade, QTV, he said, I'm sure you're very busy. Let me process this for you. Yeah. He didn't ask me for money. Now, if I had paid him or if he had asked for money, I think that would have been dishonest. But he took, and when I tried to give him something, and this is true, he said, no. He said, I know, maybe you have to get back to the studio. And he processed it for me rather than me having to queue up. So slightly, I'm not sure that's
well. I don't think
that's
I mean to be dishonest. That's I mean people are paying respect to you. I mean when our heroes die, I mean people pay respect to them. And you know these are things that because you are working for the nation. I mean you spend your whole day here to inform and educate people. So I think people giving you that priority and respect is important. You should be rolling with a diplomatic passport, my friend.
Honestly,
well, let me tell you that.
Start that campaign here.
Well, yes, before the campaign, the people of Cape, I did a project for the government of Cape Verde, and they offered me citizenship. But I said I already have ECOWAS citizenship because I have Sierra Leonean passport, I have a British passport. If I wanted, I could have a Gambian one because my father was born here. I said I don't need another passport from another ECOWAS country. But it was tempting to take their offer because, you know, they liked the work that I had done. And it's something that they hadn't thought of doing. And so that was tempting. But yeah, I mean,
but we will
the
still
respect,
move to Cape Verde, right?
Inshallah.
I would have collected that citizenship.
It was tempting. It was tempting.
I would have collected. I mean, anywhere you go, they give you citizenship. Collect.
Yeah, because Cape Verdeans have a reputation around Europe that when they go abroad to study, generally they return. They don't overstay. And so because of that, it's quite easy for them to get visas to almost every European country. So, yeah, so maybe I should have taken that. But I have a British passport.
Yeah, so let's talk about the two boys.
The tragic incident.
Allegedly, I mean,
buried on the sand.
On the sand at the sand mining area. Well, people are looking at that, you know, that incident in a different way. Some said it is their explanation, the narration is too cheap. Some said, no, it can happen. I don't know. You
know, things happen, and sometimes we are very, human beings, I mean, we're very difficult to take something that is out of the ordinary. I'll give you Princess Diana's death, okay? Princess Diana died as a result of a car crash, okay? Everybody, it's a conspiracy. When I checked, do you know how many people died in car crashes that day? Over 10,000. Over 10,000 on that day around the world. Anybody, just because you're famous doesn't mean you're not going to die in a car crash. You know, doesn't mean it's a conspiracy. People, famous and the unfamous, die. When something happens and the explanation is simple, we don't accept the simple one. We want the complex scenario. It probably is as boring and as mundane and as tragic as has been relayed. They slept somewhere, this tipper full of sand. You know, we were talking before we came on about how some people can sleep so deep it's almost like they died, you know, because no noise can wake them up. And tragically, that seems to be what has happened. I don't think anybody killed them and there doesn't seem to be any suggestion of foul play. Just a tragic accident.
You know, for me, I mean, the question is, how was that sand loaded, you know, that truck? I mean, normally they use, how do you call it, speed? I mean, they use it to load.
No, they said it was on a tipper.
On a tipper?
Yes. Those tipper lorries.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
That's what I heard.
They just go and pour at
It just pours. Yeah. They just empty it wherever they are. And, you know, can you imagine if you are the parent of those two children, your child leaves home and you're expecting to see them
Only to hear that they
I
are
was really
buried
upset
alive.
when I heard the story.
It's
it
a
upset
painful.
me, actually.
It's a very painful death.
Yeah, because it wouldn't be instant, you know, because if you wake up and you realize you're engulfed in sand, you can't fight your way out of it. And that would have been really, really, for me, that was what I was going through my mind when I heard the story.
Yeah,
really,
the
really
process,
shocking.
I mean, they've gone through before
they died.
blowing out their last breath.
Yeah.
Well, that's sad. That's sad. That's why it's important for us to take safety precautions, measures. I mean, you know, cross-check certain things.
Which I was going to come to, because for me, it shows the kind of lack of safety precautions. Accidents can happen, which is why they're called accidents, because you can plan all you plan, but accidents can happen. But if you take certain safety precautions, there are certain areas where people are not allowed beyond a certain time of day or night, then that safeguards everybody, both those who are tipping the sand and anybody who might be wanting to go and encroach on that particular land. But, you know, so we need to look at that, and hopefully they'll do a proper investigation, find out if this is the actual story, and if so, you know, what are the precautions that can be put in place to make sure it doesn't happen again.
Well, the thing is, actually, for me, I cannot still believe the story.
Like I said,
it's true. I mean,
it's too simple and mundane.
it's
it's not dramatic.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's like that, you know.
Wow.
It can be,
these things happen. It's just sometimes you might say it's negligence, sometimes carelessness, but it happened. It happened. So now what is left is for people to be extra careful in the way they're dealing stuff. And to perhaps, if someone was there, like, you know, I'm sure it was just the truck driver who was there to upload the sand.
There should be more than one.
Yeah, exactly. If there were two, at least the other one would be
would
down.
have noticed that
exactly, that some people were there. But no, but it happens. I mean, perhaps it's destiny that, like, it's destined that they're going to die there. So nobody can do anything about that. So may their souls rest in perfect peace, and we hope to hear the outcome of the investigations as soon as possible.
Yeah, and by the way, if anybody was driving this morning by what they call post office, this corner, they would have seen some shattered glass. Two cars ran into each other yesterday around 10 o'clock, and then the drivers got out and started belting hell out of each other. I was almost tempted to film it. It's like a proper boxing match.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah, I'm telling you. In fact, nobody tried to intervene. They just let them get on with it because they were both so angry with each other. And yet, they both could see each other. And they ran slam into each other. It was idiotic, you know? And then they got out, looked at each other's car, and then it was like, it's your fault, it's your fault. Oh, bum, 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 bum. And they were going at it. And they seemed equally matched. So I think if one was bigger than the other, perhaps people would have intervened. But they were sending blows like Muhammad Ali.
I hope one is not the uncle of another. Sometimes it's like that. You don't know your uncle, and after fighting, because there was a colleague of mine who almost killed his uncle. Then later, after they went to the police station, that's the time when the parents came, and they were like, "Wow, it's you! This is your nephew,
uncle.
this is your uncle."
Oh my gosh!
You know, so I mean, it happens.
It does happen. It does happen. But it was funny and both sad at the same time, because really I was driving along and both of those guys could see each other, but neither wanted to give way, and they, at speed, in trying to deny the other the right to turn, they just slammed into each other right in front of me. I was like, what's wrong with you people? You know, in fact, I just calmly got out, went to the shop to buy some breakfast cereal. I came back, they were still fighting. Yeah.
What a long fight.
Yeah. And as I said, nobody was trying to stop them, which was, I think the guys around them seemed to be enjoying the fight. You know,
exactly. So, I mean, what's popping, Julia?
The Commission of Inquiry into Local Government. I mean, I think interesting revelations are coming out from there. Especially yesterday, it was really interesting. And at some point, you know, it's like, it turned out to be so dramatic because the lead counsel was like, it's like you're just there, you don't know your job.
You don't know
it's
your
like
job.
You're not
I
doing
heard
anything.
that. I
it's
heard
like,
that.
you know, and the guy, like, surprisingly, he admitted in certain way that, like, I was just there, because if a director can just sit and wait for instructions from the permanent secretary. I think that is serious. And at some point I was telling my colleague, I think this applies to all government ministries. Most of these directors are just there, but they are dormant. Sure. They just wait for instructions from their permanent secretaries or from the minister to act. Sure. We have seen, heard lots of complaints coming from the audit report, allegations of theft, allegations of stealing, corruption, bribery, and unlawful dismissal of personnel from the grassroots level. Yep. But we've seen that in all these cases, and all that is mentioned yesterday, we did not hear him admitting to the fact that they have dealt with an issue properly, or they addressed an issue properly. Yeah. All of the issues that were mentioned on the audit report, he was like, it's either I am not aware of it. It happened before I took over. Or it happened before I come. Or no, we are still working on that. After 2-3 years of his office. So I think that is really something that we should really be careful of. And I think we are just focused on the central government, but the grassroots, there is a lot of things going on there, like corruption, it's rampant at the grassroots level. And I think we should take this commission seriously. Yesterday I was telling my colleague that we are not taking this thing seriously, even this commission, but there are lots of interesting revelations. I've been telling people to pay attention to it because it might have started out as a local government commission of inquiry, but the revelations actually touch on central government, on ministries. They're coming across as just as inept and in some cases corrupt as some of the local councils. So that might not have been what was intended. People were saying, oh, why didn't they do a commission of inquiry on the ministries when we're getting one anyway, by default, because of what is being revealed, about ineptitude, about people not sticking to systems and procedures, just ignoring them as if they don't exist. All of that is coming through, and I'm not sure that was what was intended, but that's what we're hearing. People need to watch it, because a lot of revelations, serious revelations.
Most of the time, Gambians are not interested in the activities of their affairs. I mean, all they want to hear is, I killed this person, I did this and that, something dramatic. And I think this one is not very, very dramatic, to be very honest. That's why people are not taking heed. If they watch, they will see that it is, as Julde says, it is quite dramatic. A lot of dramatic revelations are coming through. And the problem that we have, it's people who are not qualified are handling positions. And the qualified ones are also marginalized to an extent that they don't even give them anything to run. So it's like, so we have that problem too. I think that needs to change, if we are serious as a country. There are many problems. Problems include the fact that if you go into some of these ministries, local government, there might be a corrupt system, and one person is not going to change that system. In fact, the system will either end up corrupting you or it will end up fighting you, because the people who have benefited from the corruption don't want to see change. Why would they? Because they're going to lose all the nefarious benefits that they've been getting, But you come there, they will sabotage you. They'll probably end up driving you crazy, And so what you need, and we were talking about honesty earlier on in relation to and that's the kind of thing that we're talking about. You come in, you're an honest person, and you think, oh, I'm going to change the system. Straight away, you're a threat to them. Because you're going to take the extra bread and butter and milk and tea and sugar that they were getting out of their mouths, and they will sabotage you, and they might even destroy you. And I think one of the reasons why people are not building interest in this commission of inquiries, because there has been lots of commissions, and we do not see anything coming out of those commissions. And I think at some point, people they're just wasting our money again. Nothing will come out of it. After all these revelations, yesterday I was telling my colleague, if I were the president, I would fire this guy, because you were there for 3 years. All these malpractices are going on, and it's it's on your desk, but you are not able to act upon those issues, or you're not able to address any one of them, from corruption, from illegal dismissal of persons, from pay slips, from it was just crazy. Yesterday I was angry. I was like, if I were the president, honestly, I will fire this director or any other president. And I think this applies to all the other ministries. Directors are just there waiting for the instructions of the permanent secretaries, like I said, and the permanent secretaries are waiting on the ministers to give them directions and to act upon those directions. And I think as a country, people are tired, just like
you know, what during the mayoral and councillorship elections, people like, most people like the analysts were like, people are tired. They feel that like, you know, the politicians that we have here, this breed of politicians will not be able to give us the much needed change that we want as a people, as a country. That is why like most people like, you know, I did not vote. Last week I was in a vehicle with one guy, and he was talking on the phone. He was like, I did not vote. Why would I even vote? They are just there benefiting themselves, and I did not, like for 50 something years, I did not see anything, you know, change in my life or that of my family. So what is the essence of voting? You know, and when he hung, I was like, I think you should vote. He said, no, my sister, I can't vote because there is no point of voting. I've been voting, and there is nothing that has changed in my country or in my outlet. Like, okay, that is the point where you got it wrong. I think you should vote for the person that you think is right.
Yes,
that is where the problem is.
Who is the
there
right
is
person?
no right person here. I was like, okay, then I think we're doomed as a country.
Well, I mean, the issue of voting, we have a lot of people who did not vote. You know, I saw one of my friends also posted on Facebook his voter's card and his finger to show that he did not vote and his finger wasn't inked.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes, and he was bragging.
He said, I voted for many years, no change. I got sick, I knocked all doors for them to help me so that I can go and be treated outside. I am dying in pain and nobody said anything to me. So I'm not voting.
That's a more difficult one, but in a sense he's right, because every person, you personalize it, you know, what's the benefit to me if I vote? And as this person in the taxi said, you know, 50 years I've been voting, I haven't seen any material change in my circumstance, why should I vote? But we can't get to the point where people are turned off from voting, because you end up with what they've got in Nigeria now. Tinubu was inaugurated the other day, 26% turnout, and of that 26% turnout he only got 36.6% of the vote. It's apathy. I mean, you're talking about the president of the country, and people are thinking that it's so useless and pointless voting. They don't even bother to get out of their doors and vote. 26% with your how many million people who can vote? That's shocking, you know. So
Yeah.
hi.
Well, I'm told time is up, Mr. Ali.
Hi, I'm Mr. Boch today.
Yes, thank you for joining us on the platform.
Always a
You
pleasure.
know, no newspaper, but we were able to pull it through.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And today is no tobacco day.
And today it's the last day of the month of May.
Oh, and it's my brother Sydney's birthday today. He turns 60 today. He's in London.
Oh,
So
wow.
I wish him a happy birthday.
Happy birthday,
Yes.
brother.
Happy birthday, brother Sydney.
Yes.
All
Eat
right.
with grace.
Yes,
I wish he would.
exactly. So we'll take a short break. After the break, the program continues. We'll be back.
Medicalia is a high-quality clinic from Europe, which is now in the Gambia. Do you have an eye problem? Do you feel a hearing difficulty? Medicalia is here to ease the pain for you. The first and only hearing aid dispensing facility nationwide, where patients can be tested and treated to recover from their hearing loss. Fitted with latest generation equipment, our doctors can provide healthcare assistance for eyes, ears, nose, and throat. Common diseases like glaucoma or diabetic retinopathy can be diagnosed and followed up for fast and correct treatment. Make your appointment with the eye or ear, nose, and throat ENT specialist today to relieve any pain you might be feeling, as consultants are available daily. Contact us for more information. Visit us at Tropic Shopping Center near Senegambia from 9 a.m. to 11 p.m. every day of the week, or call us on 503-4411 or 7767-123. Medicalia, premium care, personal touch.
Step into the Espas Motors showroom for your luxurious name brand vehicle. Located along the Bertil Harding Highway, Espas Motors is the Gambia's authorized dealer for Chery, Kia, Ford, and now we bring you the new Peugeot model 3008 SUV. 18-inch alloy wheels, 216 inches high ground clearance, keyless entry system, start and stop button, rear parking assistance system with reverse camera, adaptive cruise control with speed limit, LED daytime running lights, front and side airbags, 8-inch HD touchscreen, Not to forget our exquisite Peugeot Landtrek double cabin pickup with 2.1 liter diesel engine, 6-speed manual transmission 4x4, hill descent control, LED daytime running lights. Espace Motors, the authorized dealer for Peugeot. Visit us today or call us on 35 22 222 or 353 4444.
Banking the smart way with the new Aji Bank mobile.
Monday mom legi mom suma dem mom su nekkee dama dem be ut ñaareel mom Teres Korea la ay sulu Teres du ket.
I just hope my wife is not watching.
Because
Teres. Man, I cannot defend you this time.
Me, I'm sitting on live television and I'm saying Teres' name.
Yes, Teres mom.
Mom myself.
Yes.
So we are back, and of course, it's just a continuation of yesterday's chick chat. I mean, the stage management, and we have the baddest manager here, D Jobs. Yes, C-boy.
If D Jobs is the baddest manager, what am I?
No, why you click shadow then? Yo, yanega hale butren, hale jamana, hale ruga.
Anyways, good morning from wherever you're watching us from. It's Churchill Ballet right here, and my brother rightly said, we're here to continue what we started yesterday, and that is the stage management control. So if you're just joining the discussion, this is a reminder to tell you that stage management has been a major problem when it comes to musical concerts in this country. So to help us understand what stage management really is, we're joined by the baddest manager,
That's right. Thank you very much for inviting me for us to continue.
Yeah.
To all the beautiful viewers that are watching this very important session, D Jobs baddest manager right here, and I'm saying hello to everybody. Well, like we were saying yesterday, Balde, I dilated on intrusion and distortion in terms of state management, and I said these are factors that affect proper stage management. And what we have seen Tira doing is both distortion and intrusion on stage, where the artist invited her to come up, but then the intended intention was for her to come and take up. But she had an ulterior motive. That is why it became a problem. Because we had seen her persisting to take the mic of the artist. That is intrusion. And the artist also was insistent not to give her, his mic. So it was so funny because some of these things, intrusion is sort of an overshadow alert. No artist would, encourage it. Because whenever you are on stage, there is this connection between you and the audience. So if there is no interlude, you should not come to intrude a particular main artist. And what we have seen here, Roga, who was the main artist on stage. And then he wasn't even informed that Tida was going to do any comedy
anything on stage.
So there comes also the program timeline. Here you cannot talk about stage management without that. What we've been seeing in this country is artists providing program papers, but not timeline. Yes, you would see all the list of artists that's supposed to perform. That is the program paper. But then everything should be specified to time. What time is Attack coming, for example? What time would Ruga come on stage? But what we have even seen, even at the side of Attack, a lot of people don't see this. He came late. The time that was given to him has already passed. And that was why Ruga came on stage.
So
only to invite Attack to come back for them to perform.
I want more clarification on that. Because we saw that when Ruga went off stage, that is when Attack came on, and Ruga had to introduce Attack. So we were already about to leave, and then he came to perform. So like you said, he was supposed to perform before Ruga, but he was late.
So you see how serious this is. Even if you provide a program timeline, still artists will find ways and means to go against it. What we have seen also, Best of the Best, is the same thing. They came and they were rushing their performances. the artist at number 10 would want to come at number 3 or number 1, simply because you feel the audience would disperse, everybody would go home.
It wasn't organized.
Exactly. They always want a thicker crowd in terms of performances. So you don't wait for your time. You want to rush everything. That also brought about the fracasses that we've seen.
Yeah.
With Brahama. Throwing the mic and then, going off stage because he felt being disrespected.
And Brahama's case, I felt at some point I was so worried because I was there when Brahama came. And Brahama came before Hussein, before Jesus, all these artists that performed in front of Brahama. He came before them. So at some point, looking at the situation, I was like, will Brahama take this lightly? And then I wasn't surprised when he came on stage and then demonstrated his frustration.
Exactly, because they were rushing, the organizers also were rushing the actual time that has been given to them. Because the QCT management had given them, I think, 3 a.m. or 3:30 a.m., something like that. So they were rushing because the artists failed to show on time. So this is the problem. Sometimes, even if you have a program timeline where the time will it will make specifications of whoever is coming at what time, still you will have it difficult to manage your stage.
What needs to be done there?
Exactly.
I think from there, if a particular artist is supposed to perform at 10 and you're there by 10:30 or 11, you should not be allowed to perform.
Exactly.
If you are less than that, you can't be late.
Very well. There is always a need for us to have stricter stage managers. If we don't have stricter stage managers, it will always be a problem because we have seen that happen. Here, chapter by chapter, we've seen them happen in different fashions where, you would come and then overshadow the stage manager who's supposed to be responsible for performances. We also usually here don't see backstage managers because in stage management there are 3 types of individuals that are important.
True.
The main anchor lady or anchor man, the backup stage manager, and the one that is managing the program timeline.
Right.
So these 3 usually have efficient communication as to who is coming next, who is here, and who is not. Now, what we've seen best of the best is the organizers not even knowing the artists
that are supposed to perform.
Yes, because we've seen the push and pull between Jalinaya and the first point security guard. That was there to make sure that people don't litter the stage because, so often that is always the case. But again, you have to know the artists that are coming in order of the timeline that has been made. So it's key.
And with that, I would like to share Top Gambian homemade promoter Aziz Willan, regarding stage management. He has key points. When the Tira Job issue came up, that is when all these things start manifesting. So he also gave out few points, and one of this is stage ethics, stage protocol is important. The event organizer and promoter is supposed to coordinate the program with artist managers, wait for the green light before any appearance on main stage.
Very well.
That is one of the points.
Very well.
And another point, he wanted to say center stage manager or master of ceremony to announce names, which you just mentioned.
Yes.
So master of ceremony to announce names or intro of all performing artists before start of the event and during breaks to avoid misunderstanding, which we saw on the Ruga's event.
Very well. But there again, Ruga did not call Tira Job to come and perform.
Looking at the video.
Looking at the video.
Yes.
Neither do the program organizers factor the performances of Tira Job on the program timeline.
It's like no one saw that coming.
That's it. So that is why it's good that Hadifai came to make certain clarifications. But you cannot blame Absolute Entertainment.
And
this guy made an open request to say, if you want to come up to Sekop, you can come and Sekop. So Tira was on stage to Sekop, not to do comedy. So in the event you told the artist, okay, give me your mic, I want to talk to my fans. The artist will say, look at this lady. She wants to, overshadow my performance. So that is where intrusion comes. Tira should have done Sekop and then go off stage. And even with that Sekop, I have a problem with it. I said, she should not have been the person to do that. Because she also had her mightiest capacity as a public figure in this country. So there was no need for her to be forced to be reckoned or to be recognized during those performances. So I feel these are important things, Churchill, for us to bear in mind.
And funny enough, there are people out there that were blaming Hadifai or the entire Absolute entertainment crew for what happened.
They shouldn't be blamed.
I'm like, how are they supposed to know that Tira Job had that in mind?
Exactly.
They are not.
So you see, Julia,
these are not superhuman beings.
By the time she was going on stage, she had an ulterior motive, different from the actual reason that made her go on, because that's what the artist wants sake of. Now you were there, all of a sudden you wanted to do comedy.
Yeah.
So you had an ulterior motive, that is why you had to do that. So nobody would accept.
No, I think that it wasn't organized well. I mean, if Tira wanted to do comedy, I mean, they should have given a space for comedy.
Exactly, but they did not provide it. That's what I'm saying.
Yes,
it wasn't provided.
Do you have any consultations? I think event organizers will consult people like D Jobs to come and organize their stage management for them. I think that's also very
important. It's important, and that is why I'm partnering with Bob Keita Foundation on their On the 9 event, because I've been brought as the consultant that would help
for the prison fundraising.
Very well, very well. Yeah. For the stage management issues and also to work on the program timeline, so that, because we have a lot of artists that will be performing. So you need to involve sector players in the industry that have vast experience and knowledge of stage management, because that determines whether your program will be properly organized or not. Yeah, because here, if people attend your program and then only to be there not to be entertained, they feel very bad. So it's important that you walk around, your program timeline to be able to organize the stage properly. And you cannot do it alone.
Right.
You had, as is what he said, that there are key individuals that are involved in terms of proper stage management. So as a sector player, a music business consultant, I always make sure that standards are met, rules are followed in terms of stage management. That is why one of the factors that would enable you to have a proper program will be pre-setup and backup sessions before the main event. Yeah, all the people that are involved in whatever night performance should be at a particular event ground before the actual time of the show, either a day before the event or earlier, before the performance time. Let's say if you are supposed to start your program at 9 p.m., try to be there at 9 a.m. to have whatever rehearsals before the event time. It's very important.
And how, is incidents of this nature affecting Gambia's music industry? Because this is not the first time.
Yeah.
Other artists were here and, you hear them go home with all sorts of things. Gambian girls are cheap, that. And I think it's the responsibility of people like you to actually control, because some of these girls, they can't control themselves. Honestly, I used to be very mad.
That's true, because even during this event, I was standing with my friends and I was telling them, with the way Ruga is calling these girls on stage, I just hope that these girls don't come on stage and disgrace us. That was the exact thing I told my friends.
That's a minute already.
And they go back saying all sorts of things to Gambia.
So finally, what do we have to
so finally, Tira Job has issued she admitted to mistakes. She made mistakes and she has admitted the mistakes, and I feel she's strong. She handled it very strong. She's a strong woman. So we'll keep supporting. She's our star.
I am told before it was off air again. Yeah, so D-Jobs, thank you for coming.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming. And we are looking forward to the Fulani King tomorrow on the Click segment.
That's right.
Yeah, so this is all we have for you. Until we come here again tomorrow, have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.